Limits to contextualization, I think, need to be something that we don't set, but that we push back to the Word for. What does the Word say? Does it say something about this? Implicitly, explicitly, descriptively, prescriptively, looking at all those different angles on the Word and then coming at the best understanding we can with the Spirit's guidance. Do we come in with our, couple thousand years of history and creeds and doctrinal statements, which are typically very focused within the cultures they were developed in? The Westminster Confession, as some have said, is a great 16th century description of what they were struggling with at the time. And yes, there's a lot of truths in it that transcend. Most people don't realize that you had to say that the Pope was the Antichrist in the original one. I don't think most of us would say that now, and they've taken it out. Some different Presbyterians have taken it out. So even then, all these things are in a context. Everything is in a context. And so the question to me is, okay, what does the Bible say about it? And then that has to be asked and understood. And yes, we can teach the new believers these things, but they ultimately have to come to the Word and have to learn enough to be able to make decisions on their own. I think that impacts obviously how we translate and how we communicate the Word is crucial to that. And I see the whole translation issue as a separate issue from insider movements. Because what the translators are trying to do is make sure that what's in, it's the original contextualization idea, to make sure that what we believe is in the Word is what gets heard and communicated. But we don't know until we study and understand those languages, and even then we don't even know what really is understood. And so somebody may have a word and say, what are you going to use as the word for son? Well, what does the word for son mean in that culture? Because it isn't as simple as we English speakers would think. There are words in Arabic that mean son that can't mean an adopted son. They mean a physical, literal seed that is only the husband and wife can produce. And so that can skew views of what happened with Christ coming through Mary, and it has created all kinds of havoc. And Satan's involved in this too, trying to cloud us as translators, trying to cloud them as listeners. It gets very, very complicated. And in some languages, even far more complicated than Arabic. So some have produced paraphrases or other translations to get people to read it, to get exposure, to get them into it. And then there are other tools, other translations they might use to study it when they come to faith or when they want to know more.